Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled Large Planet X Object and Large Debris Field May Endanger Earth. Now, on October 28, 2018, I was part of a Planet X News live stream with Scott Sion, where some very special stereo HI-1A images were shown. The images were from January 2013. The images were sent to Scott by someone who had downloaded them some years back and was able to salvage them recently. The images allow a three-dimensional perception of space that is not usually possible in normal stereo HI images. The images showed a very large object as well as a huge amount of debris moving toward the sun. A screenshot from that video is shown below, and you can see it here. You can see there's this three-dimensional quality to this image that we don't usually get in normal HI images. There's this three-dimensional perception here. Part of this object seems to be in darkness, and so there is this three-dimensional view we don't usually see. So this is from January 10th, 2013. It's an HI-1A, so stereo A. And here's the normal stereo HI-1 image. As you can see, this object is in the same position as that object, and it's labeled as Jupiter. And you can see this object looks very large indeed. It looks much larger in this image than it does in that one. So this shows that, well, I don't think it can be Jupiter, but we'll look at it. So as I said, these images most likely show what is supposed to be seen in stereo images, but the ones that the public are get are treated with filters so that the clarity and depth perception we see here disappears. Now, Jupiter is on the outside of the solar system. So if this is Jupiter, it would be on the outside of the solar system, and the stereo A spacecraft is in Earth's orbit. So in order for the spacecraft to view Jupiter, it would have to view it from the opposite side of the solar system. And you can see that on January 10th, 2013, this was stereo A's position, almost in alignment with Venus and the Sun. And so if we look at the solar system scope view, so stereo A would be here somewhere. This is Earth's orbit. This is Venus, would be here somewhere. So clearly you would be looking at Jupiter across the solar system, on the other side of the solar system there. So there's Earth's orbit, there's Mars, and then there's Jupiter. Now, but can this object be Jupiter? Let's see. Here, what I have done is I've put together HI-1 and Core 2 images, because in the Core 2 images, they tell us how large the sun is. And the size of the sun is given by this circle on the occulter. Now, by placing HI-1 and the Core 2 image from the same date and as close to time as possible, there is 7 minutes difference, but that's the closest I could fit it. But because there's a CME here moving away from the sun, you can see the CME starting to appear in the image here. So by aligning the jets and the CME, I've been able to determine what the sun's size is in comparison with what we've seen here. As you can see, the sun is extremely small. So if the sun was viewed by the detector, this is how large the sun would be in this image. And that gives us an idea of the size of these objects. And this was from 2007. I did the same with two images from 2011. This is the HI-1. This is the Core 2 image. And again, I aligned the jets from the sun. And here we see it's aligned once again. And we can see that this is well, this yellow ring is about the same size as this white ring. So this tells us how large the sun would actually be in an image like that. So you can see the sun would be very small in these HI1 images. So if we place this image with this image, and I didn't even try and make this one exactly the same size. I left it large, a little bit larger. It really doesn't matter. You can clearly see that this object would have been larger than the sun. So now Jupiter is 5.2 AU, in fact, at least twice as large as the sun. Now Jupiter is 5.2 AU away from the sun. In order for the spacecraft to view the object, it would have to be on the other side of the solar system, and therefore at least 7.2 AU away from the spacecraft. And we can look here. So the spacecraft would be here. There's 1 AU to the sun. There's another 1 AU to Earth's orbit on the other side, and then 5.2 AU to Jupiter. So that's 7.2 AU. So that's 7.2. The object in the image seems to look at least twice as large as the sun, which is only 1 AU from the spacecraft. This means that Jupiter would have to be at least 15 times larger than the sun in order to appear to be this large in this image. So this is not Jupiter, and clearly shows that objects are purposely mislabeled in these images. The object cannot be a known object in the solar system either. The other known objects in the inner solar system are Mercury and Venus, but since when do Venus and Mercury look larger than the sun from Earth? The detector is at the same distance from the sun as Earth is, and Mercury and Venus always look smaller than the sun from Earth. And you can see this. This is a Venus transit from 2004, and you can see how small Venus is compared with the sun. And of course, this is the view from Earth, the same distance that the spacecraft is from the sun. So Mercury is further from Earth, because it's the first planet from the sun, and smaller than Venus, and so would look even smaller than Venus. So there's no way this object is either Mercury or Venus. Thus, the object in the stereo HI1A image from 2013 is not any known object in the solar system. The image is therefore clear evidence that there are objects in the inner solar system which are not known objects in the solar system, and that these objects are being covered up. They are being labeled as known solar system objects when they clearly are not. And this is another image shown on that live stream. It comes from the same HI1 footage, and you can see the same object here. But the depth perception is so good that you can clearly see the cloud of debris, the debris field that surrounds this object. It's huge. There is so much debris, and there's huge amounts of debris coming behind the object, following the object. The object's obviously moving this way, seems to be moving towards the sun. There was, I think, another object here somewhere, but definitely this was the largest object. So what is this object? It is one of the objects which in the beginning of my God-led journey of discovery I called brown dwarfs, and recently named stellar cores. I also call the system they belong to Planet X. They seem to be old spent stars. Their energy depleted state makes them have a low gravitational influence, which shows that gravitational influence is dependent on the photon energy inside the particles which comprise an object. And you may look at article 210 entitled Stellar Core Gravity, Tidal, and G is not constant, and article 183 entitled Stellar Cores Absorb Photons which carry gravitational energy. Now, the object's huge size suggests that it is in the inner solar system. The sun seemed to be having a strong reaction to its approach, which suggests that the object was quite close to the sun. These objects, once they arrive in the solar system, which they enter as comets, and you may look at article 368 entitled The Destroyer System, Planet X and the Oort Cloud for more details, seem to follow elliptical orbits. And you may look at article 373 entitled Planet X System Orbits. Thus, these objects are most likely crossing Earth's orbit quite often, and with such a huge cloud of debris around and behind them, it is very likely that the Earth will be affected. If the Earth goes through such a cloud of debris, large numbers of meteorites could impact the surface, creating large-scale destruction. The debris is low in energy when it first moves into the solar system and thus does not easily respond to gravitational fields. But as time goes on, it absorbs energy and becomes more responsive to gravity. Thus, the danger of this debris turning into meteorites whenever Earth moves through the debris field of an object like this increases with time. So in conclusion, stereo HI-1A images from 2013 clearly revealed that large objects have entered the solar system and are found in the inner solar system. This is being hidden through the purposeful mislabeling of these objects as known solar system objects. The object observed in the stereo HI-1 images shown above was surrounded and followed by a large amount of debris. This huge cloud of debris presents danger to Earth in terms of the possibility of meteorite showers. And those are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.